Hey guys, it's Shanae. So I just wanted to post this because right now I am in fighter mode. So my previous upload, I kind of gave an update on how I've been doing the past month and how I was concerned because my Spravato treatment after I went through the first phase, the first 4-week round, my cycle got really thrown off, and I chose to just be grateful that I had a month that I was like feeling well, even though my cycle, it was like causing me some anxiety, because for anyone that has mood or attention, just anything that's amplified related to ovulation or the luteal phase of their cycle, usually, if you're aware, because maybe it's caused miscommunication or issues at work or just anything that you have to be like hyper focused and aware of, you plan and you track. And we talked about that in previous videos. And I've shared the Clue app that I use. I've linked it in my About Me. I've linked it in below all the videos that I've posted, I think. That was a game changer for me. I've been using it for like years and years. I managed my career by relying on it, talking with different doctors, forecasting so I could do proper med management with my doctors, and fighting myself. And so I wanted to post this today because in my previous video, I talked about how I was choosing to be grateful, but I feared that I was going to have a big crash and then my Spravato was going to end as I was going into my PMDD pit, because it didn't seem like I had ovulated since I had had my period almost on and off an entire month. And now, today's Wednesday. On Friday, I have my last Spravato treatment, number 12. And unfortunately, it looks like my concerns may be the reality. And so because of that, I am in put my blinders on, push myself, be a drill sergeant, fight. And I wanted to post this because right now I feel terrible. I want to lay in bed all day. I want to cry. I don't feel good at all, but I'm fighting because I'm self-aware of what is going on with my body, and I'm able to communicate that to my doctors. So Sunday night, I didn't, like I said, normally I have to plan my meds differently during the second half of my cycle. Because it was so off, I couldn't do that because my app was unreliable. In the past, whenever I've tried different hormone therapies and things where as a form of relief, and my cycle's been thrown off, I've had to track my cycle, or not my cycle, but I've had to track my ovulation in a different app. And that app is called Premom. And it wasn't because I was trying to get pregnant, nothing like that. It was just because I need to know for me, I need to know to prevent pregnancy, right? But also if I'm trying some kind of hormone therapy or a different medication, or something has randomly caused my cycle to be off, which I rely to be consistent, I need to know when I'm ovulating and that type of thing so that I can be aware to kind of manage and communicate the symptoms that might be going on and have more self-awareness. And that might look like telling my husband or my family, hey, FYI, looks like I'm gonna, or even my doctors, apologize if my communication seems off. I'm headed into this window and I'm fighting it and trying my best, but just want to manage expectations and let you know. I did not do that in my career. I felt I did not have a lot of freedom in that, and I do regret that. I really do. And so I just encourage you, if you work for a big company or something like that, and you know that you have some kind of disability or some kind of disorder that may impact you and that you have to work 3 times harder to kind of just keep things where they are, I really encourage you to make sure that you look into what your company's policies are, because there are a lot of companies that do support certain disabilities, including PMDD, and you can have that information logged on your file with a different group. And they were aware of certain things that were going on because I had to take a couple medical leaves for my PTSD, but I do regret, not being as actively I didn't want my workplace to become the place I talked about health stuff, but we are lucky that there are companies where mental health is like a huge focus right now for lots of people, and there's lots of awareness, and you know, similar to like sexual preferences and things like that, they have like lots of different groups in the workplace that can support you through that. And anyways, I highly encourage anyone that works for a big company to just look into that and make sure you're utilizing all the resources that you have. And if you have a boss that you can speak transparently to, I had kind of tried that. It didn't really work for me, but and it could lead to miscommunication as things got worse. So I just encourage you to look into that and find someone, if it is affecting you in the workplace, even if it's a therapist, you know, make sure that you're having those conversations to manage it. But anyways, back to my reason for posting my video today. My cycle, I had feared that my cycle was I was gonna kind of go into my pit because I had a great month and I didn't have, had this spotting on and off, but to me, it was like, I don't know that I'm ovulating, and that's kind of like my trigger to let me know I'm kind of going down into this pit that I really have to fight for with medication, with my just mental, with my mind, with my friends, with support, with resource groups, my therapist, all of that. Well, on Sunday night, on Sunday, I was like feeling okay. I will say that I had heightened, today's Wednesday, so like last week I have had some heightened anxiety, and I shared that compared to like going to 1 Spravato a week, or going from 2 to 1. Unfortunately, my, you know, anxiety things have kind of come back, like some of my PTSD. The first 4 weeks of treatment, like I had a lot of relief with the anxiety and PTSD with it twice a week. But the point of Spravato isn't to relieve your anxiety, it's to help with suicidal ideation, treatment-resistant depression, and major depression. Ketamine, not Spravato, like you can do IV ketamine and other forms of ketamine to assist with that. It just isn't going to be covered by insurance. So I just want to provide that update, and I've communicated that with my doctors as they're hopefully planning what the next phase looks like for me. I don't really know. But Sunday, because I didn't know where I'm at in my cycle, I couldn't plan, like communicate like, hey, I'm going into this, you know, part of my cycle, just FYI, I might be more emotional, I might be more fragile, like sensitive to, you know, if someone says something, I might really take it the wrong way, or just kind of shut down. It's just a time where I have to be really like on point. And so anyways, Sunday night had some communication, and like I just was like realizing like I'm very fragile, and I was trying to hold in like things that were making me emotional during a conversation, and endless to say, I went to bed that night sobbing and leaving feeling like I wanted, like talking to my husband, just saying like, I feel like I want to die, and it's because I was in so much pain. Okay, so I was in so much emotional pain, and for me, I've talked about self-awareness and emotional pain in the past, and emotional pain was something that was really, really hard for me to like get my mind around, because I'm a person that, you know, one of the reasons why I have some of these disorders is because I'm very detached from my feelings. For a long time, like my survival was like not letting myself feel, right? And so I did not allow myself to have any feelings like in my mind that weren't like gratitude or thanks, or kind of comparing myself like to like, you know, I'm lucky because I haven't been in the war type thing. So it was very extreme, and there were a large range of things that had occurred in my life that I really suppressed, and kind of used that as a comparison, poured myself into helping others, focusing on other people, which is a great resource, which it's a great way to deal with not focusing on yourself, right? But there's also an unhealthy element if you never grew up with the ability to express your feelings and how you truly feel. It can leave you very confused later in life and with relationships, and result in like this pain that maybe you don't understand. That started developing for me a few years ago, and I reached out to a therapist because I did not know what was going on, and it was just really painful. And when I'm at the height of it, it's during my like second half of the month is when it comes up, unfortunately. But you know, as much as I hate all of it, at the same time I have to be thankful, because it's like if I didn't have those sensitivities that were like triggered second half of the cycle, then like I might not be able to have gotten some of the help that I really have needed. So I don't know. It's kind of like lemons out of lemonade or whatever, lemonade out of lemons. But anyways, because I said that to my husband that night, automatically my mind went to, well, I was sobbing when we went home and went to bed. I woke up the next morning sobbing, and I had a therapy appointment on Monday. And because of how I was feeling, I had to like say like, ding, I wonder if I'm starting to ovulate, because I can't rely on my app right now. And I had to realize this is not my typical, you know, these are types of symptoms that I would feel second half of my cycle. And I haven't felt them for a month because my cycle got all off. And one of the things that I've had to do a couple times, I've only had to do it in April and then like here recently, because like I said, I have a very regular cycle, thankfully. But I don't have the box with me, but what I have had to do, I use an app called Premom. I have a box, it's actually in my bathroom, so I don't have it with me right now. But essentially, I have ovulation tests. This is not gonna be glamorous. Sorry, real life here. I use a old bottle, like from a prescription, mark a line. Yes, you have to go pee-pee, potty in the bottle, right? And then you take the test. These can be used for people that are trying to get pregnant. I use them for like self-awareness if something happens with my cycle, so I could communicate properly, because people are really quick to like disregard things unless you got facts. So I have some statistical facts and charting, right? Anyways, this is what it looks like. It measures your LH surge, which is essentially what the luteinizing hormone, I don't know, I'm not an expert, but essentially it is what's happening to your body whenever it's like surging for ovulation and saying like, my body's wanting to get pregnant. Like, this is my peak time. Help me, you know, get me pregnant. I'm beginning to go into ovulation, fertilize my egg type thing. Or it can say like, no, your surge is really low right now, so you're not ovulating. So anyways, because I was feeling so bad on Monday, I said, I'm gonna take this. And I took one last week as well, because I just wanted to have like frame of reference of where am I? And last week it was low, right? So I was like, okay, and last week was fine, other than some of my anxiety, which I'm not expecting Spravato to cure my anxiety issues. But anyways, I took it, and on Monday, boom, I was at my peak ovulation, my peak for everything. And so I knew, okay, this isn't in my Clue app because it's been a little off, right? It can't accurately predict everything. But I took 2 tests to make sure that's what it was. And in my mind, for me, everyone's situation is different, but I have medication that I have to take more of sometimes as needed during the second half of my cycle. And that's why I have to rely on my apps to plan that. And just because I take more medication, I'm not saying that medication is like the end all be all, the fix. It's not a fix. It is not a fix. For me, unfortunately, because I've had coexisting things, my other coexisting symptoms, like it's harder during that time of the month for me. So I've talked about ADD and, you know, the anxiety. Some days it might be like during the second half of the month that my ADD is just like extremely off, and I have to take more ADD medicine, which I hate and is unfortunate, but I'm like trying to, you know, to balance it the best I can. So anyways, because I took this, basically you just put it in to where the line is, and you just put it in there for like 3 seconds, and then you let the results go for like 3 to 5 minutes. And once you do that, it'll tell you like if it's positive or not. And so then you know. So I was able to, from there, like be self-aware to tell my husband, hey, heads up, and talk to family and just say like, hey, no, I was really emotional last night. I'm not able to run on my app right now. So maybe, I could have taken my meds a little differently or something like that, or like prepared for it, or maybe postponed an important conversation or something, like just mentally prepared for it more. But I didn't know, and I'm human, right? And there's only this is a lot of work. So anyways, I tried to catch it as soon as I could and communicate those things. And even with my doctor, and I knew, okay, I'm gonna likely have to take a little bit more medication right now and be aware of that. That does not mean that I'm having a great day. That means that I am fighting. And that's why I wanted to post this. So I wanted to share that about this. If you have PMDD, a mood disorder, depression that increases anything that's with your cycle, and you are off and tracking it, I highly recommend this. The app, I'm using my phone to do this, but if people want print screens, I can share print screens. Essentially, you take a picture of the results and it uploads, it'll scan it for you actually. And if you, it'll scan it for you. And then if the scanner is not working, you literally take a picture, it tells you where to put it, and it charts it for you in a graph, and it tells you like high, low, I'm on the lookout. And for me, that's extra important because I'm not on birth control. I'm not trying to get pregnant at this moment. I'm working on my mental health. I'm on medications, all these things, but that's like, because everything got off, that's like extra self-awareness for me in my marriage of like, okay, I gotta be really self-aware right now. My body is like really ready for that and I'm not, right? So, excuse me, I just highly recommend if you're on a lot of medications and you're married or you're in a relationship where you could potentially get pregnant. And, I recommend having this on hand so that you are self-aware and can prevent any grief or unexpected events in your life and potential trauma or joy. I mean, who knows? So I did want to talk a little bit about the premom app. So that is one thing that is just like important when it comes to like when it comes to being off and trying to become self-aware so that you can be in fighter mode, right? Or self-awareness mode is what I kind of try to call it. So then that was on Monday. Today's Wednesday. I had my therapist appointment. I did not feel good. I had to take a little bit more of my medication, my ADD medication, just to like do the Zoom because I was so emotional and my trauma can heighten. So like my flooding of emotional pain, it can feel like I'm being the way that I've expressed it to my husband recently, which I could never even explain. Like, it's just so hard to explain, but it can feel like I'm a crushed soda can. It's just that. It's painful, and it's just a different type of pain, and I have to acknowledge it, and I have to fight it, and I have to get the help that I need with it. And so, and that has been quite a journey. So anyways, I'm self-aware, had an appointment with my therapist. I have to just do extra things so that I can have a better, more full life. And sometimes, therapy, doing these videos, trying to help someone, you have to find a source of support. That might not always be your family, right? That could be your friends. My girlfriends at church are a huge source of support to me. Right now at church, we're our sermon is on and this has always been something very important, I think, just in my faith. But God calls us to carry one another's burdens, and that's just been a place that we've been in at church with scripture and studying scripture on having an encouraging, kind, supportive spirit and carrying one another's burdens. And so carrying one another's burdens isn't helping them how you think that they might need help, but it's understanding what they need. And so, anyways, I've been very blessed by some of my dear friends within my church group who I love so much and who have been so faithful at times where I have been like navigating this over the years, where they're like, I'm going to come pray for you. I don't understand all this. We don't get it, but we're going to pray about these struggles. And they don't have any of the things that I've had, but they have other struggles and they can relate and they have compassionate hearts. And I'm very fortunate to have that. I still have a therapist in and out, you know. There's times where I have burdened my family talking about this and navigating it, and I'm constantly trying to look for different forms of support, different forms of support groups, and because it's very, you know, complicated and multifaceted. And so anyways, I know that my videos are kind of not the most organized, and I'm very sorry, but I don't make a list and I don't prepare and I don't plan for these because they're an extra thing that I do to just get this out there into the world. And if it helps someone, like I said, great. If it doesn't, then don't watch it and you won't, right? So anyways, being self-aware where you are in your cycle with the PMDD. If your cycle is off, I recommend the ovulation tests at home. Monday, I had my appointment with my therapist, had to take extra meds. Tuesday, I slept from midnight to 12:30. So this is yesterday. I slept 12 hours. So like I was exhausted. My stomach cramps like on the side, like my stomach cramps when I ovulate. So I already kind of know because I usually always get a headache. I always get stomach cramping, and it's to the point to where my Clue app, I've been tracking so long, I will get a notification on my phone, like heads up, you might have a headache this day. And I usually have a headache, like have already had a headache that day. So I don't look at the app with regularity. It's not something that's on my mind because I'm, you know, have a lot going on. I have to be self-aware, but I don't want my life to revolve around it. My life is severely impacted by it, but I just try my best to track as I can each day. Usually when I'm going to the restroom, I like pull up my Clue app and I track my symptoms. And sometimes I have to go back, you know, because I forget like a day or something like that. But because my life is so impacted by it, you know, I have to track things. And so I don't like look at it though. I mean, I try to prepare when I know I'm starting to feel off so I can, you know, be self-aware. But then tell myself like, I'm going to get through this. This is going to be over soon, like that type of thing. But yeah, it's not something that I like obsess over or anything like that because I don't like want to, like I like to try to assume every month that like maybe it's going to be better, maybe I won't have this, maybe I won't have that type thing, and I'm always hoping for that, but unfortunately, you know, that's not the case. So anyways, I recommend those two apps. On yesterday, I think it was yesterday was Tuesday. Yeah. I slept all day. I had an appointment with my therapist over Zoom. I had the self-awareness that I am ovulating. So I felt like, okay, I know, you know, I have to take a little bit more of my other medicine just to do basic things. I was in bed almost all day. And it was just to do basic things like to complete my paperwork online for my doctor appointment, to write an email to another doctor. Like I wasn't watching TV. I wasn't, you know, just lollygagging around. It was like, I'm exhausted. I'm extremely fatigued, which is like common symptom with this stuff. And like to the point, you know, even with additional medication, unfortunately, it's just like, I'm still getting like that. That's my bare minimum that I'm getting done. And I'm thankful. I had my doctor appointment. I could have said like, I'm choosing today to just do nothing and just sleep, you know? And, but it was like, I gotta fight and like, you know, fight. So I wanted to make this really quick, and I probably should do multiple or I split up and I just focus on one topic at a time. But, because of my ADD, I'm a little more scattered. And so, you know, maybe at one point I can make shorts out of some of this, but I don't know. Yeah. So anyways, I'm sorry. Thanks for your patience if you are watching this, you know, but if not, whatever, it is what it is. So yesterday though, that's kind of what my day looked like. Today I had similar where my husband came home and I was like, oh, I'm just wiped out today. Thankfully I had made pre-made some dinner like prior that we could like have as leftovers if you wanted, if not, fend for yourself type thing. And then we went to bed at like early, like 10:30, and then I still slept 12 hours. When I woke up, I like took my medication. I never like to assume that I'm gonna need more medication though. Like I'm always trying to just take the minimum that I can. And sometimes that hurts me, more than it helps me, but I just, if you're anyone that you don't know where you are with family planning, like with some of these medications, it's like, I don't like to be on them as is. And so it just can be hard because I know to plan sometimes to take more, but I always am like trying to take the minimum that I can because I just I don't like them in my body. And like I said, after my miscarriages, my meds, some of them went up like 3 times the amount just because of my body changing with me having these side effects to half the month. It's like, how was I supposed to hold my job and stuff and have this happening half the month instead of 1 week? And then also like, my symptoms just, getting more severe. So anyways, we're trying to work on that, right? So I'm trying to work on that. So anyways, I wanted to just say that today I was like, it was the feeling of like, I'm in bed, it's taking everything in me to do one thing because I'm so scattered. I'm so like, I can't find things. I'm pacing, looking for something, and then I'm easy to get angry at myself because it's like, how come I'm not more organized? This happens every single month. You know this, you should be prepared for this. Like I can just get really, hard on myself, and just because this has been a part of my life forever, and it just always just catch me by surprise. And anyways, I like have to stop that. And for me, I had to say like, Shanae, or I don't talk to myself, but this is like drill sergeant. In my head, I have to think like, okay, what is one thing that makes me happy? Okay, I just had to think of one thing. And to me, music came to mind. Music makes me happy. So I went to I have a music playlist, and I specifically have some songs in here that I've done whenever I like want my Spravato treatments to be like better, or not better, when I'm like trying to have a good time. Not a good time, it's not like a party in there, but it's like keeping me entertained. I'm not emotional, that type of thing. Or if I'm like, just trying to have like good vibes only kind of time, and I don't want to like feel like my pain. Music is like a huge outlet, right? So then I pumped up the music and I said, okay, I have to go into fight mode. This is fight mode. So to me, fight mode is fight for something that I find joy in, okay? Music can help me have more energy. I like dance music, and I have like a playlist that just has a few things in there. I have tons of like hidden playlists that I need to clean up all my stuff, but I have some for jokes and for laughing and just for fun and dancing and whatever. So I blared the music. I came in, I blared the music, and I just said, I don't care if I'm pacing. I don't care if I feel off. I'm putting on music, getting up, I'm putting on something colorful. I was wearing blue, got out of my pajamas. I'm, whatever. I tied it up so I felt like it's cute. Putting on sneakers. Putting on sneakers is like, you get around your house, you can do more just with a set of sneakers. So I'm putting on my sneakers. It's the days where I have no appetite and I don't want to eat because I just want to do like, I just want to sleep, or I feel like I want to scratch my skin. It's really hard to explain, and I don't explain it well, but it's one of those days where I don't want to eat. But if I know everything is against you and you got to fight everything that's against you, right? So like for me, and I've mentioned this in my first video where I was like, this is what it looks like. Okay, so this is it, but this is me fighting. Like putting on the shoes, getting the dance music, starting to like go around my house. I randomly moved the couch into this room, like piece of the couch. I still need to move around. Hopefully my husband doesn't get real mad. I don't know. He might, but it's like making my list. You can't see, but it says fight. And so fight for me is like, what is one thing I can get done today? And then like my basics that I have to fight for. So that looks like brushing my teeth, basic, because I just want to sleep or just, you know, be in bed and not, it's not like I'm sad, I'm reminiscing over things or anything like that. It's just, I'm very fatigued and I'm tired, and I have to like get pumped up and try to fight. So I don't like to eat. I shared in the past, like these are just cheap like protein shakes from like Walmart. It's like 2 o'clock. I have not eaten. I am not hungry. I feel like I can just sleep right now. Okay. And that includes me being on medication. Like people think that's just a whole other thing. Okay. Like I'm not even going to go into the ADD shaming shit or stuff, excuse my language, but like if you're on medication and you're up all the time and all this stuff, you do not need it. Okay. Like for people out there that go in and try to get meds that they don't need, you make it so much harder for people that actually need some medication. And so, I'm not even going to go into that rant, but anyways, depression, fighting. If you don't feel like eating, some people like to eat a ton. I don't know what that's like right now. I have experienced that with some of my miscarriages, but that is not regular for me. So for me, it's like not having an appetite. So I rely on this because I don't want to cook. I don't want to do anything that creates more work for me because I'm already feeling like I'm enough work myself, right? So these are really great for me. Okay, there's that. Then there's, this is like, no matter what, no matter how much I try to prevent or plan or prepare, I struggle, right? Even with medication. And that's why, like I talked about with ADD and other things, medication is not the fix, okay? You have got to work on habits. There's a workbook that I'm like trying to work through because I've tried so hard to kind of like adapt and adjust the best that I can. But there just are lots of habits that if they're not ingrained in you, you have to build them yourself. And it can be really hard and like very discouraging, especially if you're doing it all alone. I don't want to get emotional, but just, you know, it could be a lot of work. And so for me, even though I know and I have this, okay, I fail at it constantly, okay? And it makes my life more hectic. But like I have this pink box right here. And what this is it has a thing by week, and it's my smaller box. And I try to pre-fill it for the month. And the reason I try to pre-fill it for the month is because I know half the month I usually don't feel good. And if I don't have my stuff in one, if I'm already struggling when I'm doing well, like with my organization and finding things and just when you have PTSD and other things on top of it, you can get really, you know, when things are coexisting, it can be very hard. So I've had to work really hard to put things in place. So like the smaller one, I try to pre-fill at the beginning of every month so that I have all my meds in there. And then I just keep this by my bed. But guess what? We were traveling, we were doing different things, and I didn't do a good job. And so it has been more hectic for me this month because I go look in the kitchen for a bottle that's in a bin that is specifically for that, and I've put the bottle in my purse, or I've put, you know, I've struggled with this, even though I did this for a very long time. It is like a great thing. I think it also helps with communication with doctors and doctor appointments and knowing whenever you're going to be running out of medication, that type of thing. So I pre-fill it for the whole month. I will mark it. And sometimes, like I said, I have meds that I can take as needed. I don't try to take the maximum amount that I can. So sometimes what I hoped out of this is I would pre-fill it for what is the max that I can take. There's some things I could take 5 of, or 2 of. And there are days where I don't take 5 at all. So it became a way of helping me, like when I went to go fill it like the next month, of seeing like, I have all these days I don't need this amount, you know, and this is when I am actually like needing it and that kind of thing, and just having conversations with my doctor. And so I tried to like every month have a thing taped on the top where it was like, I could track like, hey, I did great and I have like X amount of pills left and all this stuff, but it's so much tracking, you know, and it, like, you got to live life sometimes. And so, anyways, this is like a good tool for me, but it's something that I'm not always 100% at. This is small, right? This is big. This is big. This is medications. This is supplements. So if you fight for, you know, if it's whatever, and I try to fill it at the beginning of each month, and that's what can throw me off, because some days, you know, I could have pills left. I'll know which days I missed it. And it was helping me for a while realize, oh, I struggle more taking my supplements when I'm in this phase, because it's showing me like week 3, I had like some supplements left that I hadn't taken. And then I'm able to know, like, I'm not compliant with my supplements, so I have to fight. Is it because I'm having a harder time eating? You know, so I have to like build habits into my routine, just to be like basic during this time of the month sometimes. And that's okay. You know, that is okay. That is where I'm at, and that's okay. But it's like, we're aware of it and fighting it and trying. And so these are just things that have helped me. And today I had to do this and do this video as a reminder for myself of like what I have to do, because I don't have, you know, like, I am accountable. Like, I have to hold myself accountable, and only I can control my mind, and only I can control what I do. And so today I realized, like, okay, fighter mode, you've been here before, get there again type thing. And so anyways, if people like are interested in these, I can put like links to like the things, but I don't even know if people watch this whole thing, so it's very long. But anyway, so that's another thing that helps me during this time of the month, is having these. And so I know, okay, have my protein shake, because if I don't, then I can't take my supplements, because I will want to throw up, because you can't take them on an empty stomach. So that, and then the other thing is, I don't know where it's at right now, go figure, water, like water, tons of water. Yeah, like just drinking water. I was looking earlier, I couldn't find it. I have like a little, it's not a Fitbit, it's like the Google kind. My husband and I use them, but that's another thing that I use sometimes for this time of the month, where it's like, you know, I have my sneakers on my list, and like usually if it's like just doing one thing, like it will lead to other things. I have a mini trampoline in here. So like on my list, I have like exercising, like things like that you don't want to do. Sometimes I will do more in this time of the month than I do when I'm feeling great, because I am so intentionally fighting myself, which that's crazy. But you know, it's just that self-awareness sometimes. Like I have on here, like exercise 5 minutes. I am sweating already because I decided, like I said, to like move furniture around and stuff like that, which on a whim, I have lots of other things that I can do, but I'm not letting myself get overwhelmed with all the other little things that I can do. I am putting a list down and focusing on what is one thing that I can do, is one thing that brings me joy. What is one thing, like bright colors make me happy. You know, the music, and then I can make a list, and my list doesn't have to have 10 things on it. My list can have 5 things on it, and they could be the most basic of things. And that is okay, because I'm moving forward, right? And I'm doing more than I would have had I not been self-aware. And yeah, I'm fighting. And so anyways, I wanted to share more on this video about something that was really helpful, like and different with my last Spravato treatment, but I'm thinking I'll make another video because this one is so extremely long. And I just wanted to encourage you guys and let you know, if it seems like I'm feeling good today, I'm not. I feel terrible, and I'm fighting it. And I am only able to do that because I'm self-aware of where my body's at right now. I don't know what's happening next week with my Spravato treatments. My doctors are in discussions. I had to send some emails late last night. Today, I'm not worrying about it. Today, I'm worrying about Shanae and what I have to do to have a better day and to have a sense of not being in pain or, acknowledging it and fighting it and doing some of the basics that any person should do, no matter what, for their health, which means brushing your teeth, making sure you shower, have deodorant, like those basic things, like get up, having some kind of nutrition in your body, if you taking your medications, trying to get a little bit of exercise or sun in, and trying to find something that can give you joy, even if it's just a song. So yeah, those are some like basics. Like I'm missing a ton, I'm sure, but those are the drinking water. Like we're trying to get basics done. We're in fighter mode, and anything on top of that is just a plus. And stay away from people that have negative energy. They don't understand you. If they don't know where you're at, if you feel like a broken record, try your best to go to a different source of support. And just, not out of to be harsh or mean or anything, but to protect your own mental health. And, this is a time where I need to be encouraged and supported. And for a friend to say, like, I'm praying for you, that's really hard. Or shoot, like, dang it, just more relating to you. And then I'm able to realize, like, I gotta fight. So, and I'm the person that can do that for myself. And, so anyways, I'm done with my rant, and I just want to encourage you to take it day by day. If it's a time of the month that you're like, or you're off cycle or something, I hope these tips can help for you. If you have PMDD, I'm going to try to do another video tomorrow about like prepping for, I used this VR thing the other day in my Spravato, and it was really cool. But yeah, maybe I'll post more about that. And I did get the gene site test. I still need to go over that, but that'll be in the future. We'll see. So I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Take it day by day. Just one thing. You're awesome. You are amazing. You're working hard. You are crushing it. You are beautiful. You are so talented, and you are a wonderful person, and you have purpose, and your life is worth living, and your life is going to be so beautiful that it is going to surpass any pain that you're currently feeling right now. There are so many people in the world that care about you. There are so many people that you don't even know that care about you, like me. You have no idea that I'm even recording this and sending good vibes and good energy to like all the people out there in the world that I know are like not like having a hard time. And so thank you if you listen to this. And again, thanks for your patience, because I'm not a YouTuber, I'm not trying to be an influencer, and I'm not super on point with it, but putting this energy out there. And yeah, I got love for you. Take it day by day. And now I'm gonna move this around before my husband gets home and is like, what's going on? So I'll talk to you guys later, and have a good one. Bye.